Okay, welcome to the weekly market review. We start with Bitcoin dominance. Excuse my voice, I've got a crooked voice from a cold. But Bitcoin dominance, looking at the weekly chart, looks like we might end up the week in a triple green from all indications. It's unlikely this whole thing is going to go down to zero. But it's possible in crypto, anything is possible. But probability wise, I think it's probably going to still go up. I think we're going to go up, and either we're going to do a double top here, or we're going to go all the way up here. Those are the two scenarios: double top and then collapse, or we're going to do middle of this or double top, because we do have the divergence between this point here and that point is still there. So, and as far as I can count on this weekly chart, we've done one wave there. That's two, that's three, that's four, and this is five. So we've done five waves to the upside, and we have a divergence. So maybe there's just one last spoke to the upside, which is outstanding. So I think tonight, I think we may have Bitcoin dominance strengthening tonight. Let's go and look at 4 hours and see if we're getting anything which is different. Uh, on 4 hours, MACD is above zero. As you can see, we have MACD above zero, and we kind of testing this 50 EMA, right? So we broke below, broke above it straight away, confirmed on it, confirmed, then we tried to go below it, and now this is rejecting it. So I think since we've only just come above zero, maybe I think it's right. I think we probably go back to the top here, or we go and do a double top here. So I think there'll be more downside, there'll be more upside on Bitcoin dominance, which will put pressure onto, the altcoins. Let's look at the others dominance, because that is also important, and see what others dominance is doing. So if we go on to 4 hours, you can see the others dominance fell down here. Excuse me, fell down here, and we came back into it. We've gone up, and now we're coming back down again. So yeah, so Bitcoin dominance will go up, this will come back down. If we go on the weekly chart, what you can see is we have this triple red indecision kind of candle, although is green. And I think we will probably come down, either do double bottom, or we'll go slightly lower. So if we go to daily chart, that's exactly what's happening. So we're coming back down. And I think, we will come down to here, or we do a double top or slightly lower. So the altcoins will inevitably, obviously, fall a bit more. Let me see if there's any crosses on that I'm looking for. 8 hours. No, we don't have any of those crosses there. 4 hours, nothing there. So yeah, I think it's left with a one last zip to the downside on this, because here we've got our RSI there, which is the lowest point, and we've had a middle. So it's left with the last one, where maybe price goes slightly lower, but the RSI stays higher than this, and then that'll be the end of it. So it's not far, we're not far off, but this could be final damage. So you have to be careful out there. All right, let's move on to Bitcoin itself, see what Bitcoin is doing. Um, so Bitcoin, let me use this one here. So let's look at Bitcoin on the weekly chart first, monthly. So on the monthly chart, we don't have a good candle here at all on the monthly chart. But the month is not ended, so we can't make too much of a judgment into it. But I do expect us to come below this candle, 78,300. So I think we'll come below that, and come into somewhere here, the tops here, because we definitely need to come back into somewhere there, here, between here and here. So somewhere between here and the tops here, we will test that, I think. So that'll be my on the monthly view picture. That's higher time frame, right? Now we can go and look at the weekly time frame, see what's up. Weekly, so we're coming back to the 50, and I think these lines are all on the tops here, right? These lines are all on the top. So we could test the tops. Some people some people are calling for this here, 68, 9. It's possible because this candle, technically, this candle is the candle. This is the candle of interest for this fall. So we've come back here, we bounced. Our next one could be the middle, and we bounce. Or we could come all the way to the bottom here, which is the 68. Or we could just do the tops here, which is 73, 74, 75. I will go for 75 because if I bring the liquidity up for BTC, right? So you will see that there's liquidity all the way down to about 75, even up to 70K, there's liquidity. There's plenty of liquidity available. But if you go onto the monthly view, you get to see it better. Yeah. So for me, I think this is the liquidity they are going after. This one here is the one they're going after. So I would say 75, 74K, 75, 74K is probably where we will land, which is where I've got my kind of triggers. So that's for Bitcoin. I'm expecting more downside. If I go into the 4-hour chart and I'll explain to you why the downside is there, we have a pink candle here. There's a pink candle here, which needs to be exceeded. So, which is sitting at 81. And once you hit 81, they're going to run you all the way to the 70, at the very least to 79K. Then, of course, you just have to zip it down to what, 70 or 75K. So I think the altcoins will bleed a bit more. I mean, it's not a huge disaster. I mean, it's just what, 8% drop on Bitcoin. So if you say 16% on some of the altcoins, then that's where probably they will land. So Bitcoin, I expect more downside, into these areas here, and that'll be the last drop, because what we have here is we've got the 3 drops here. We've got this drop here. We've got that drop there, 2 or 3, and we had our bounce, and we're coming back in. And sometimes you come in and you come to this point here, or you go slightly lower, and I'm erring on the slightly lower, where the RSI will still be higher than here. So the RSI will be still higher than this base here. So if I'll probably say the RSI gets to about somewhere there, 20. So I would say the RSI, let me put an alert on there, 20. RSI 20. Yeah, RSI 20 on Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart is what I'll be expecting. So that's Bitcoin. And then I'm going to move on to UMA. So UMA BTC. So we can see on this weekly chart, I'm expecting this thing to be exceeded. So I'm expecting that this will be exceeded. This pink candle will go lower than that. We'll go lower than this, and then slightly maybe to somewhere here, and then we'll be starting to go up. That's the UMA BTC chart anyway. So if you go onto the actual UMA chart, I think $1 is on the cards. I think $1 is on the cards. I think between here, I would say $1, $1. So I'll move this to about, maybe even 9.5. So if Bitcoin is going to do what, 8%, then let's see. And this thing is at this bottom. So sometimes it won't get as much push to the downside. But if you say 20%, that takes you to 0.96. If you say even 30%, that takes you to 85. So between here and here, I think we'll fall there. That's where I think UMA falls. So that's UMA. And then also we go to tier. So tier BTC, there's a pink candle here. And chances are either we come back into the middle of it, or we actually exceed it, we do a double bottom, or we go slightly lower. So I'm expecting this to really come down. So if we go onto the actual tier USD chart, so there's a pink candle here that I have been following for some while. This pink candle, which sits at 2.35 low. So I expect this to either come somewhere here, 75 and go, or we will exceed this, we'll do a double bottom, 236, or we come slightly lower, 216 or something like that. So uh, let's get rid of this, 216. So we could do 215, you know, but between here and here, between these boxes where I expect the price to fall to, and then we can start going back up. So that is tier. Would expect some more downside on that one. And then so that's tier, yeah. And then we go on to Pepe, right? So Pepe is also on the weekly chart. The only thing with Pepe is I couldn't find any pink candles just yet on this weekly chart, but I think this candle is a candle of interest. This candle is the candle is the candle of interest. So that you're going for. I don't think we'll get all of it. I don't think so. So I think my view, my bias would be we get to about here, which is about three, let's call it 380. I think we get to about 380. Somewhere there. We'll get to 380. And then we go back up. Between here and here, price will fall between here and here before we go up. I mean, if it gets really, really bad, then yeah, you'll be looking at 17, you know. But I think in between here and here will be a good place because that's about, let me see, what's the drop percentage? It's about 36%. Yeah. So I think that's more than enough. I don't think we'll go below 36. And then you kind of do your consolidation and start going back up. So that's PP. I think 36 is between 5.9 and 36. Somewhere there will fall. And then let's go and look at Solana. So Solana BTC. So we had a beautiful bullish candle here, and it's all being wiped clean. Let's get rid of this interest box. It's all being wiped clean. Our area of interest is going to be this candle here, this candle. So I would expect us to fall between, like I would say, this tier BTC. So somewhere here, I'll put my alert there. I think the tops here probably will be here, there, and there. And then I'll put that line here. So I think that's where I think, tier BTC, Sol BTC will fall to. And then if you go and look at the actual USD itself, I think, $100, 99, to $95, this box will be filled. So, if you do like even from here and you say we keep going, it's about 20%. So if you say 25% drop. Yeah, that's where I'll expect us to get to somewhere here. So, about $95, $90 to about $95. Solana. I think between here and here, will fall there somehow. So that's Solana. Render, we think render will also go down some more. Let's use the render USD so we can see where we'll fall to. Let's come back to this trend line. This is a very, very strong trend line. It's a very strong trend line, right from here, right from there. So I expect this to be really defended quite hard. I think it will be defended very hard, but at the same time, I think it will break it and then come back into it quickly. So I think my targets will be somewhere here, these two boxes, 271 and 236, somewhere there. I think we'll land. We'll land somewhere there. This candle is a candle of interest. This one here, it's candle of interest. We're already at the top, so next logical target will be here and here. So that's what I'll be looking for on render. If we go on to ETH, because ETH is important. So Ethereum is also going to go down some more. Now I'm trying to find if I have one of my candles of interest. So this candle is really a good candle of interest for me. This candle here, this candle. So if I bring this all the way there, a candle here, that'll be my area of interest for Ethereum between 1650 and 1800. Let's call it 1650 and 1800. Somewhere there, I think price will land somewhere there. So that's where I think Ethereum will land. And last coin that I want to look at is Pendle, because Pendle are the coins that I really liked. So Pendle's come back into the zone and it's breaking it, right? So logically, there's a pink candle here. So I think Pendle will fall to somewhere here, 160. I think 160 will break that one. So that'll be one here, 160. That's where I think Pendle will fall to, 160. So that's Pendle. And I'll look at one last thing, which is Say. Let's look at Say and see what Say is doing. So I think we'll go below this candle. We'll go below this candle. This candle will be the candle of interest. So I think, maybe these tops here, 0.17, or here, 0.14. So I think I'll move this to here and move this to the tops here. I think that will be the area of interest for Say. It'll be a good place to buy. We say here all the way down. It's about 24%. Yeah, 27%. So that's about right. And then we go and see which other coins. I think that those are all the coins, but I just wanted to show you NASDAQ because, Bitcoin is heavily correlated to the NASDAQ, right? So, if you look at it from that perspective, then, we say, okay, this is how the NASDAQ closed on the weekly chart. Next week, I think we'll go up on the NASDAQ. We will go up next week. Maybe we come back or even up to these tops here as possible. So it means that Bitcoin would, wherever it finishes correction, is going to go up next week after the correction is finished, right? It's going to start going up. There'll be a bounce up, a huge bounce up, because the NASDAQ is going to bounce up. If you go on a 4-hour chart, you can see it, right? So you can see that, what we've done here on the 4 hours is all the 3 steps. So there is 1 step here. So you go 1 step there, 2 here, and we've got 3 here, and we've got a green candle. And there's a divergence from here to there, 3. 3 is a very good number for us to go up. So, I think this thing will probably go all the way up to here, 26, or even tops here, 27, and it could be that, we kind of keep pushing higher. But based on the weekly chart, I don't think that's how it's going to play out. I think even if we push higher and higher, maybe if you're lucky to somewhere here, then we will still correct back down again because we're not finished with the correction here. The correction will land somewhere here. This candle here will be the candle of interest. So be about 16.3, between 16.3 and 16.8 is where the Nasdaq is coming. So if this plays out, then of course cryptos will go down quite a bit. So that's something to factor into the metrics. Yeah. So that's Nasdaq. And the dollar is also collapsing, which is good for risk assets, but the risk assets are all correcting, which is a shame. We've got kind of a red candle here, big selling candle. Next week, I would expect the dollar to bounce up slightly, come and retest the trend line. So this trend line here. So it will come back in and test it, which will put even more pressure on the risk assets before it continues its journey and then continues the journey downwards. And I think it will continue its journey to somewhere here. But this is the area of interest here. This is the area of interest for me, which puts it somewhere around 97. So this candle here. This candle at 97.678. So 97.678, 672. So this one actually exceeded this. So, but it becomes a zone of attraction. These pink candles are always zones of attraction for these pullbacks. So somewhere here, I think, the dollar will fall back to. So we've got quite a bit of a move on risk assets, after their correction. But there's a bit of more pain, that's all, to take before that happens. So that's all I've got really for this week. Just make sure you don't get liquidated, stay safe, and good times are coming maybe after this week. To be honest, after this week, there's going to be a really big bounce. So stay safe, and we'll catch up during the week. I'll give you regular daily updates.